Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Oh, another article. That's right. This one hit me right in the soul. Let me tell you, I was doing the dishes and I was listening to Rush, and for some reason I had the lyric modes on. Now you're asking yourself, why were you doing dishes, Gen X? Well, it's because I wanted a break from babysitting. I was working out of my house today. Man, and the kiddos are active, let me tell you. No mercy. No mercy for dad. No mercy for grandpa. And, I just need a little break, let me tell you. And I was doing the dishes and I was telling my wife, let me take over. And I put on my music. I have an 80s playlist. I think I have it on the channel too. And I was just listening to it. And of course, I have Rush in there. And Limelight is one of my favorite songs that I have been listening to over 40 years. It's hard to say that, right? But the lyrics hit me really hard as I'm singing them. Like I'm not even realizing what I'm saying, right? And then all of a sudden it clicked, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is totally relatable to today. So what I did is I went right away, and I started, just typing something up, and I use the Grammarly AI stuff because English is my second language. I think in Spanish, right? So sometimes when I'll put stuff down, you're listening to me speak sometimes, and I'll say things backwards. And it has to do with, grammar in Spanish is a little backwards towards, as opposed to English, right? So I'm typing it up, and as I'm reviewing and I'm editing this thing, it's just hitting me harder. So rather than just continue, this is, I'm going to put this as a video, but usually I just do these ratings for the members, right? They're for the members of the channel. But I think this one was worth putting on as a video, right? I try to keep these for members only because a lot of times, I'll stop and I'll give my own thoughts and stuff like that. It's just a deeper content, if you will, get to know me type stuff, right? Or what's my mentality when I'm making the videos that you watch. So I guess this is a little bit a look behind the curtain, right? So living in the limelight, what Rosh taught me about social media, friends online, and the cost of social media, the cost. See, I said the coast. English. I create videos not only from current events, but from sudden inspirations, like this video here. I was doing the dishes, listening to my 80s Rocks playlist, and Rush came out. For some reason, I had left the lyric mode. I said on, so see, on, and I started to read them as I sang, and boom, the moment of clarity came. That's right. There's a lyric on this song that rang strong in my head. It really did, guys. And it wasn't because it was on some viral TikTok audio or some ironic YouTube meme song, but it was from a time where music still spoke to us, right? We listened back in the rock days. We listened to music like it was scripture to the soul, especially if we were high as a kite, right? After you smoked one. Well, it's from the song Limelight, and it was by Rush, and it was penned by the late Neil Peart. He was a great drummer, by the way, considered the best in his day, right? My friends and I were like, back in those days, were like the Beavis and Butthead days, as I call them. And yes, we sat around watching MTV in the afternoon after playing video games in the arcade or at Tommy Burgers. Everybody has a Tommy Burgers, right? Anywhere in the U.S. And talking about our lives and what we wanted, and hot chicks, of course. Now, even though it was written back in 1981 in the age of arcades, Atari cartridges, and music videos with actual budgets, it might as well have been a commentary on today's digital carnival of clout. And I'm not even really sure what clout means, but the kids say a lot. Social media. Let me tell you, listen to this. Caught in the camera eye, I have no heart to lie. I can't pretend a stranger is a long-awaited friend. I can't do that. I really can't. Peart was Rush's drummer and lyricist and was famously an introvert, uncomfortable with his fame, hesitant to engage in the celebrity machine that surrounded his band's success. He was an observer, a thinker. And those lines, they feel like they were carved out for this era of social media. where cameras don't just follow the famous, but are pointed inward towards us, outward and at each other all the time, right? Today, I sit here on YouTube surrounded by a community of creators, right? Some sincere, others are artificial as filters on TikTok videos. There's a peculiar dance that happens in this space, in social media, specifically on YouTube. You make friends, but many of them are only waiting for a misstep, a slip, a stumble, a human moment that any person, normal human being, can have to mine it for content. Not for console, not for support, but for spectacle. For spectacle. You are a clown in the waiting 24/7. Right? That they will mine you for content no matter what. Doesn't matter how friendly they are to you. They're just waiting for that moment. What Neil captured in Limelight was the tension between authenticity and performance. And that's a tightrope social media demands that we walk every day, right? Living in the limelight, the universal dream for those who wish to seem. Oh, that's powerful. If you don't get it, the last line, for those who wish to seem, is devastatingly accurate. Social media is the land of seeming people. They seem successful. They seem happy. They seem like friends. But real relation, that's a rare currency. The truth is visibly comes out at a cost. And too many are willing to pay the price with their identity, right? There's just too many people that turn out to lose themselves because of social media, because of wanting to be popular. You know, I remember the first time that I heard Limelight, I was at the arcade, joystick in one hand, slamming quarters in Donkey Kong, Sax on, Punch Out, you know, whatever other video game. I was like trying to reach the top of the world. The song played through the air from a projection screen, which is what they had back then for, you know, big screens. MTV was on it. And even though I didn't understand all the words, I felt something in them, right? There was an honesty, a weight. Now, with a few more years, 40 plus, dang, and scars, plenty of them. Hey, it's rough growing up where I grew up, man. I get it. Back then, I thought fame meant fulfillment. Today, I know that exposure without grounding is a fast track to burnout, or turning out like a DSP, iDubbbz, or many, many other famous idiots that are out there, right? You can name them. You know, I look at my channel and I want it to grow. Of course I do. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But at the cost of becoming another person, shouting into the void just to be heard, parroting the latest outrage for clicks. You know, I want to give my honest opinion on something that's going on, right? That's a current event. Not just parrot whatever somebody else says. But I want to talk to you like I talk to a neighbor. You know, maybe I'll throw a little comedy in there, some jabs. But I want to do it without manufacturing more drama. Right? I don't want to call people names that I don't think deserve them just for the fact that people watch my video. That's just not me. That's not what this channel is for. Right? Getting back to the lyrics. Those who wish to be must put aside the alienation, get on with the fascination, the real relation, the underlying theme. And there it is, the call to authenticity, not seeming, but being. Not alienation through curated identity, but fascination through connection, right? The real relation. You know, Pert didn't give us a social media blueprint, but he did give us a compass to follow, at least in 2025. That's worth millions of views for that song, right? You know, guys, growing up in the 80s, it wasn't perfect, but it was real. Our connections were not electronic. Whatever they were from heart. They were heartfelt, for good or bad, right? Our friends weren't followers or looking for clout. Again, whatever the hell that is. I'm never really sure, right? In our experiences, as limited as they weren't filtered through like half a dozen apps, right? Where you have to post everywhere to get your stuff seen. You know, it really was a great time to come of age. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Especially not this one where everyone's brand and privacy is a commodity. That's how I was raised my kids. That's how I raised my kids. And now I have a little one again, right? The same rules are going to apply. If you want to kiss the sky, you better learn how to kneel, as Bono once said. I love that lyric. I'll keep making content. I'll keep wanting to grow, but I'll do it in my way, right? With my voice, with my values. And with a quiet reminder that not everything worth saying has to be shouted. I won't call someone an a-hole if I don't feel they deserve it, or if it's just for views, right? Because sometimes the most enduring truths come from a drum beat and a lyric, and that's been waiting for you to finally understand it. Rest in power, Neil. Your fans. All right, humans. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.